The city of Los Angeles is on fire, but it seems that their mayor likes it that way. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Well, I just have to say that if you dial back time and go to Friday, if immigration raids had not happened here, we would not have the disorder that went on last night. I will tell you that it is peaceful
my
now,
God.
but we do not know where and
It's peaceful. This is peace. And by the way, let me just go ahead and clarify this lie that she's telling. What you're watching here is like 4 to 5 days, 3 to 4 days after all of this rioting started. So no, Trump didn't send in the National Guards until way later than he probably should have. But also, this is peace?
when the next raid.
Look at all the peace.
That is the concern, because people in the city have
So peaceful.
a rapid response.
Oh, I just love the peace of LA, right, Karen Bass? The peace, all of this peace going on. This is, by the way, this is what was going on when she said it's mostly peaceful.
If they see ICE, they go out and they protest. And so it's just a recipe.
Not a protest. This is a riot. Every time she says protest, say to yourself, riot.
For pandemonium that is completely unnecessary. Nothing was happening here. Los Angeles was peaceful before.
Nothing?
Governor Newsom has
Like, what is
said
she
that President
talking
Trump
about?
is, quote, putting
Go
fuel
insane.
on fire. And you've called the deployment of National Guard troops to your city a chaotic escalation. Why is this an escalation?
Well, again, it's an escalation that didn't have to happen. Why were there raids? You know, we had been told that he was going to go after violent criminals.
He literally, by the way, why were there raids? She's about to lie to you about what was happening. It was gangs. It was human traffickers. It was people doing illegal things like offing other people. That's who they were going after, by the way, Mayor Karen Bass. It's on record. There's plenty of evidence, by the way, Mayor Karen Bass.
It wasn't a drug den. It was a Home Depot. It was places where people are working.
So that's the thing. There might have been public places nearby, but they were doing a sting operation on all of these cartels.
Well, what was the point of doing this? And then knowing that in a city like Los Angeles, and we had talked about this for a long time, that has a very sophisticated long-term immigrant rights organizations and institutions, that if these random raids were going to happen, then there was going to be a danger of a backlash.
Given the point
The danger of a backlash, random raids. By the way, listen to how Mayor Karen Bass, remember her name to hate her, listen to this idiot talk about how you should expect a backlash for removing people who are in your country illegally. Can you help me make any sense of that? Why do we need a backlash? Protesting, sure, I don't care. This is rioting on behalf of people. And by the way, the president of Mexico agrees. She's basically like, stand strong, our Mexican, she called us colonizers. So the president of Mexico and Karen Bass here are acting like we've colonized Mexico, therefore they should be allowed here and send all their money back there and take it out of our economy.
it has escalated to, do you think the National Guard is needed now?
No, I don't think the National Guard is needed now. Things in LA are calm. I will tell you that I'm saddened.
Look at this. This is happening while she's talking. And this is on Sunday. Do you know how much worse it's gotten in the past few days?
By the extent of the vandalism,
Oh my
the form of
goodness.
graffiti all through
Look at that.
The downtown area. But it is important for people to know that even in downtown, this is isolated to a few streets.
All right, I want to play some sound from Police Chief Jim McDonnell. Let's listen.
This violence that I've seen is disgusting. It's escalated now since the beginning of this incident. What we saw the first night was bad. What we've seen subsequent to that is getting increasingly worse and more violent. Tonight, we had individuals out there shooting commercial-grade fireworks at our officers. That can kill you. And we have adapted our tactics to be able to have a chance to be able to take these people into custody and to be able to hold them accountable.
What would you hold them accountable for, Chief? They're just being peaceful. They're just peacefully throwing bricks and glass bottles and literally shooting fireworks that are commercial grade at you to try and end your life. But Mayor Karen Bass said it's peaceful, Chief. Don't worry about it, pal.
We are overwhelmed as far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity.
Back to what we just heard from the LAPD chief. You said that you're totally in sync with the police chief. He is saying that he's overwhelmed, that his forces are overwhelmed. What more do you need to hear from him to bring in more resources, to bring him the support that he's saying he needs?
Well, what I was saying is that the support he has called.
No, she gets caught live on television and then gives us a, well, what I was saying is, and then changes everything right on a dime.
And he has received that.
She didn't expect CNN to call her out like this, let's be honest, right? I mean, she expected CNN, softball interview, let her have it, but didn't realize they were going to play this kind of stuff and just straight up call her out. And honestly, good on you, CNN.
Support from the sheriff's department and from other police departments. And so I do not believe that he was describing a situation where we cannot bring it under control here. I think you should talk to him a little bit.
Yeah, that's really under control, Mayor Karen Bass.
Saying, for example, there's nothing happening on our streets now. On Saturday,
nothing's happening. It's under control.
When this decision was being contemplated, there was nothing happening on our streets.
This is provably false. Again, it started Thursday or Friday. Today is Wednesday that I'm filming this. She's talking Sunday, still going on. In fact, worse, she now has had to call for curfew in the city. She has had to call for tons and tons of things to try and fix this. We've got Gavin Newsom as well trying to step in and fix things. We've got judges getting involved to get the National Guard and even the Marines out there.
Mentioned that evening, there was a protest that got out of hand. It was a protest of 100 people.
Notice she says
none
protest.
of that warrants.
So the left wants you to, it's like when you give a mouse a cookie, right? They want to keep pushing you. And if I push you just a little further back, and then you're going to take the step back, then I have that ground. And so what they want to do is keep calling these riots protests. They did it in 2020, but wasn't January 6th was a protest, right? I mean, it's crazy. And I never want to hear about January 6th again from any of these people, by the way, but that's what she tries to do. That's the semantic game they play. And they do it with a lot of different things, not just the word protest, but I want you to keep an ear out for this kind of thing when they do this to you. They're going to use the wrong terms, hoping that they muddle things up for you. Then you're going to start calling this a protest, and then they win because they can be like, no, you remember it was just a protest. And then like a few years from down the line, they want you to forget this. That's the game. They want you to forget this a few years down the line so you can remember, yeah, those are just like protests, or, just the protests in 2020 where they burned down businesses and it was just this bad, the protests.
Federal intervention, and that's my point.
Right, but you also...
Now she's begging for federal intervention. How about that, Mayor Karen Bass, you dumbass?
Acknowledge that you don't know if there's going to be other immigration raids in the city.
Right.
So that raises the question, what are you doing to prepare for that potential scenario? There could be more violence ahead. I want to share the CBS poll. It shows 54% of Americans approve of the Trump administration's program to deport illegal immigrants. A minority, 46% disapprove. Are Democrats out of touch on this issue?
Yep.
Well, I think if you did the polling in Los Angeles, I'm not sure it would be that way, considering we are a city of...
Okay, let's just take the poll. Let's do what you don't do with the poll and just not have a control group. Let's just not have let's not take from multiple places. Let's just take it from here. Let's go, hey, everyone who lives in this very little vicinity. It's like giving me a poll and being like, hey, Freddie, take this to your friends and see if they also like the same video games as you. Do a poll. See what's the best video game of all time. And me and my friends are like, oh, well, obviously Nintendo 64, Ocarina of Time, Zelda, right? It's like, well, that doesn't account for kids today who love Fortnite or every other generation of people, right? So it is so crazy to say this.
And then people might approve.
Just take a poll for me and my friends.
But do people really approve the federal government coming in and seizing power from a state and from a city? So
actually, Mayor Karen Bass, I just did a poll, and it seems that 100% of people that I polled do approve of that. I did poll myself and my friends, but hey, we approve, so thank you for asking, Karen. Yes, that is actually, those are the polls.
So I drilled down a little further on that poll because I do not believe that Americans support a federal intervention in a city takeover or a state takeover. To see the level of obscene graffiti all over buildings. And
graffiti?
Anybody that does that
She cares about that?
That you are supporting immigrant rights, the rights of immigrants. You can't possibly be supporting immigrants and vandalize our city. You will be held accountable.
Is that right, Mayor Karen Bass?
From the people who are really fighting on behalf of our immigrant community.
Well, my friends, I also did a poll and I found out that you are amazing for sticking around to the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Tell me what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.